Welcome back to Bison Overtime. I'm Malik Mentzel.
And I'm Mentzel.
And after a long, calming Easter break, we are back for another episode, and we're going to kick the show off with baseball. So last weekend, the team had a successful 3-game series against Omaha in Omaha, Nebraska. On Friday, they won 1-0. It was a battle. They went through 5 scoreless innings until Logan Williams cracked an RBI double, giving Caden Schwabe a chance to score the only point in the 6th inning. Omaha almost tied it after they managed to get 2 runners on base in the 8th inning, but pitcher Tristan Rorick had other plans. He got them out of there with a strikeout. He closed the last inning with 3 straight strikeouts to secure the victory.
Yeah, Max Lovin and Tristan Rorick both had amazing games. Max Lovin pitched 9 strikeouts in just a little over 6 innings, and Tristan Rorick, he pitched 4 strikeouts in the final 2 innings, so very good. And then Logan Williams, like you mentioned, got the RBI to win the game.
Yep, sophomore outfitter Caden Schwabe had the team high with 1 hit and 1 run in this game. What were some of the top stats?
Logan Williams, like I mentioned, got the lone RBI. Max Lovin pitching those 9 strikeouts in just those a little over 6 innings. Tristan Rorick pitching 4 strikeouts in just a little over 2 innings. So 4 strikeouts in 7 batters. That's over half.
Yeah, and then on Saturday they had a doubleheader. They lost the first game 10-2. The Bison were up 1-0 in the first inning after Logan Williams used a sacrifice fly to score Brock Anderson. The game went dead for about 3 innings until Omaha turned up the heat and scored 4 runs in the 5th inning to grab the lead. They would find more success in the next 3 innings after scoring 6 more runs. Caden Schwabe again had the team high with 3 hits and 1 run. What were the top stats from that game?
Caden Schwabe getting 3 hits with that 1 run. Kalen Schwabe as well, also getting 2 hits and an RBI, and Garrett Hill having 2 hits as well.
And then for the second game on Saturday, they won 2-0. In this game, they battled through 6 scoreless innings until Will Bush was able to connect on a single, scoring Caden Schwabe to grab the 1-0 lead in the 7th inning. 1 inning later, Brock Anderson hit his 4th home run of the season to make it 2-0. Both Brock Anderson and Caden Schwabe led the team with 2 hits and 1 run. What were the top scores from this game?
Brock Anderson, Drew Sackett, and Caden Schwabe all had 2 hits each. Anderson also had that RBI. Will Bush had a hit and an RBI, and Jake Drew secured the victory as the pitcher by not allowing a hit in the final 2 innings and throwing 4 strikeouts.
And then on Wednesday, they played a non-conference road game against the University of Nebraska and unfortunately lost 4-3. It was a close back-and-forth game. It was tied 1-1 in the 2nd inning. And then at the top of the 3rd, Drew Sackett hit a 2 RBI home run for the Bison to go up 3-1. And then Nebraska responded again, scoring with 3 runs on 4 hits to take the lead 4-3. Drew Hackett had the team high with 3 hits and 1 run. What were the top stats from that game?
Drew Sackett, you mentioned there, getting 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and then Caden Schwabe getting 2 hits and an RBI.
Ndsu is now 21-12 overall and 9-3 in the conference. They will travel to Tulsa, Oklahoma this weekend to play Oral Roberts. The first pitch is today at 6 p.m.
The series is going to be very interesting considering Oral Roberts right now 2nd in the conference to NDSU, not by a long shot though, and Oral Roberts was predicted in the preseason by many to run away with the Summit League Conference. So this is going to be very interesting, especially considering North Dakota State, the pitching that they had this past series against Omaha, and 2 of those 3 games was outstanding. They're going to need to bring that and more if they want to win this series against Oral Roberts.
Yep, this series will be a great one because they definitely battled last season and for the championship, so I want to see how this is going to turn out. And then moving on to softball. The softball team is coming off back-to-back winning 3-game series. This previous weekend, they traveled to Omaha, Nebraska, and played a 3-game series against Western Illinois. They swept the series by a long shot. I'm talking about high-scoring games, 2 of which going only to 5 innings.
Mercy rule is definitely a necessity in this series.
Yeah, on Friday they had a doubleheader. They won the first game 7-0. After a scoreless first inning, the Bison scored 2 runs after sparking from Avery Wysong, hitting a home run in the 2nd inning. And then both teams went dead for about the next 2 innings, and then the Bison picked it back up in the 5th and 6th innings, scoring a total of 5 runs. Des Cardenas had the team high with 3 hits and 2 runs. What were the top scores from that game?
Rihanna Rudd had 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Carly Gotchias, she had 2 hits and 2 RBIs. And then Avery Wysong had a 2-run home run straight to center field.
And then the Bison came back and topped that performance in the 2nd game by winning 12-1. Now, West Illinois put up the first point in the 2nd inning, and then the Bison scored 3 runs in the 3rd after Cameron Maycutt reached an error and a run scored to tie the game. And then Rihanna Rudd hit an RBI double, getting Emily Berenga and Maycutt to home plate to take the lead 3-1. And then in the 4th inning, they went ballistic, scoring 9 runs. Both Cameron Maycutt and Skylar Padgett led the team with 2 runs and 1 hit. What were the top stats from that game?
Avery Wysong had 2 hits, including another home run for her. Carly Gauchias had a grand slam in that 4th inning, and Rihanna Rudd and Des Cardenas each had a hit and 2 RBIs. Now, that's just, talking about that 4th inning, that's just something that's very common with the softball team. They just seem to get these innings where they just rack off runs back to back to back.
And then on Saturday, they ended the series winning 10-1. Western Illinois again striked first, scoring a run at the top of the 1st inning. The Bison would answer back immediately with 2 runs at the bottom of the 1st to take the lead. After a scoreless 2nd inning, the Bison scored 6 runs in the 3rd inning and then 2 runs in the 4th. Des Cardenas again had the team high with 3 runs. What were the other stats from that game?
Cameron Maycutt and Rihanna Rudd had 2 hits and 2 RBIs each. Carly Gauchias had a hit and 2 RBIs. Now, and also, this victory marks a huge milestone for the softball program. It is their 200th victory in Summit League play.
Yep, they're doing pretty good. Now, NDSU, they're now 25-17 overall and 7-4 in the conference. They have a home game series this weekend against SDSU. The first pitch is tomorrow at 12. This will be a tough series. SDSU is currently first in the conference, with a record of 10-2 in the conference so far. NDSU has to play flawlessly to survive this series.
They're going to need to do what they did against Western Illinois, get those hits and get them fast. A lot of hits every inning, a lot of runs scored, and because SDSU is a powerhouse when it comes to hitting. They score a lot of runs every game, and it seems like it's kind of the same situation for the men right now. It's the team that everybody predicted to win the conference this year. It's definitely going to be your toughest conference opponent, so it's going to be very exciting to see what both men and women can do this weekend in their respective sports.
Now, being that the team hasn't got swept, even when they play tough teams yet this season, I'm thinking they'll at least get 1 game out of the 3-game series. How do you feel?
I mean, definitely in the long run, this is a team that you're going to have to win a series against. There's no doubt about it. And it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of line they can draw here for the rest of the season to see what they can do. I think it could be possible they could win 2 of the 3 games. I don't think they'll sweep the series, but very good possibility with the way that they rattle off runs against Western Illinois. I could see them possibly winning this series.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to dive into men's and women's golf and men's and women's track and field. Stay tuned.
I'm your friend.
I am your coworker.
I'm your neighbor.
There's no set person that defines who needs help in North Dakota.
I play cards with your grandmother every week.
Hunger is becoming more and more widespread and more known because there are people standing up and saying, hey, this can't happen. We can't be having this in our state, in our community.
I sit next to you in math class.
It's proving that they're learning better and they're not coming to school so hungry on Monday morning. We're engaging them and we're helping them learn. I mean, people want to help their fellow citizens, and in this food bank, in this agency, that is exactly what's happening, is people really, truly care.
I'm here to change the faces.
I'm here to change the faces of hunger.
One kid, one mentor, plus one moment can unlock limitless potential. One heart-to-heart, one inside joke. 30,000 youth are waiting. Be there for one of them. It's time. Become a big today.
And we're back. Now we're going to dive into men's and women's golf and men's and women's track and field. Starting with golf, the men's team traveled to Elkhorn, Nebraska to take on the Stampede at Creek, and they finished first out of 9 teams. They achieved the largest victory in program history with 31 shots and finished with minus 19, and that was previous set in 1995. So the team is looking pretty good. They also picked up their 5th first place victory of the season, which sets another program record that was set in 1990. Man, they're touching records from the 90s?
That's a long time ago.
They're doing pretty good. So let's dive into the tournament. So for the men's, they swapped the top 3 places in the individual leaderboard. Brock Winter finished the 3-day tournament with a total of 209 to finish at -7, which is the first in his career. And then Jack Johnson came in second for the Bison, finishing the tournament with -4. And then Nate Adams came behind him, 1 shot behind him, that is, after finishing at -3. How did the women's do?
The North Dakota State women's golf team finished 7th out of 10 teams. The Bison carded rounds of 304, 306, and 317 for a 3-round total of 927 to finish in 7th place. Arkansas State took the top spot with a score of 874. Leah Scar paced the Bison, posting her 2nd straight top 10 finish, coming in tied for 9th place. She assembled rounds of 73, 76, and 76 for a 3-round total of 225. Joe Baranchuk, she finished tied for 38th place, and then Lexi Gillette, Elise Hoven, and Maddie Herzog all finished tied for 40th place with a score of 237.
So both teams will head to the Summit League Championship in Newton, Kansas. The women's will begin on the 24th, and the men's will begin on May 1st. Hey, the men's are looking pretty good. The women's, they got to step up, but I'm thinking the men's will do good in the Summit League Championship.
I think both will do relatively good. This was a little bit of a step back for the women, you're right, but the men absolutely dominated in their previous series. But I feel like any team on an individual day, any of these players can do a great job, and especially considering this is it. This is the big tournament now. They got to bring their A game for this.
Yeah, I'm excited for Brock Anderson. I'm excited for my brother Jack Johnson, who I'm very good friends with, but we'll switch gears to track and field. Now, both teams competed at 3 different meets. Again, the Brian Clay Invitational, the Beach Invitational, and the Mount Sac Relays. Senior Trevor Otterdahl threw 18.36 meters, taking the 5th place in shot put. Senior Trevor Otterdahl also took 8th place in hammer throw, throwing 65.54 meters. He ranks among the top 25 performers in the nation this season. Peyton Smith won his section of the 3,000-meter steeplechase with a time of 9 minutes and 4 seconds. Hunter Merkley finished 3rd in the long jump with a distance of 7.22 meters. Matt Crabb finished 3rd in the javelin throw, throwing 62.24 meters. Jens Christensen matched his outdoor personal record in pole vault, clearing 4.76 meters. How did the women do?
Amy Phillips was the top collegian in the hammer throw at the Long Beach stage. She posted a mark of 66.64 meters. She remains 6th on the NCAA performance list this year. Carrie Wolf won the javelin in Long Beach, throwing 52.49 meters. Amanda Anderson finished 3rd in the discus with a throw of 54.16 meters. And Bison freshman Grace Link ran a personal best at the 1,500 meter for the 2nd straight meet, finishing in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Freshman Annika Stansbury also ran 10 minutes and 55 seconds in the 3,000-meter steeplechase, putting her at 9th on NDSU's all-time list. So
both teams started competing yesterday at the South Dakota Challenge in Vermilion, South Dakota. They will be competing until Saturday, so make sure you guys keep up with those updates. When we come back, we're going to dive into the football offseason and the draft and also the NBA playoffs. Stay tuned.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
Once I got on campus, it felt like home.
My name is Addie Stewart, and I graduated from NDSU in the Department of Communication in 2018. My degree was in strategic communication, and I'm the communications specialist for the city of West Fargo. That includes social media, press releases, breaking news, interviews, media relations, and more. I went into communication because I wanted to do something I was passionate about. There were so many opportunities. I knew I could work for nonprofits, government, small business, agency work. Professors in the department definitely impacted me a lot in my life, making sure that once I graduated college, I knew I could get a job here just because of the connections in the department and the great morale that was in Fargo. Future students should definitely come to NDSU because it's a degree like no other here.
The NDSU Bookstore has everything you need to show off your Bison pride. The bookstore can have you sporting green and gold wherever you go. It offers many different brands, sizes, styles, and selection so that you find exactly what you're looking for. Shop the NDSU Bookstore and show your spirit today.
Welcome back. Now we're going to dive into the NFL offseason. So Deebo Samuel recently just requested a trade for the 49ers. Now, he removed all his 49ers stuff from social media, and it seems like that's what players are doing, likely. Like they just broke up with their girlfriend, and they got to take everything off now. But, you know, with Deebo Samuel wanting that trade, and everybody doesn't know really why, like they don't know for sure, but I'm thinking it's a money issue.
It could be a couple of different things. Some have rumored, yes, it's a money issue. He doesn't want to be paid for only $4 million for his rookie contract, but some also say it's because he doesn't just want to be this hybrid between a running back and a wide receiver, because he got really banged up last year. It definitely showed in the divisional round against the Green Bay Packers. He got banged up in that game a lot because they're using him a whole bunch as a running back. He just wants to be a wide receiver. He doesn't want to be this running back wide receiver hybrid, but 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan seems to be really implying that he wants to use him as this hybrid player.
Yep. Now, if we go to the payment side of things, I've always looked at the game, you know, production matches pay, okay? And his production with the 49ers was the heart and soul of that offense. If there's no Deebo Samuel, there's no telling how far they even would have got in the playoffs, if even making the playoffs, you know. And Deebo Samuel has one final year left on his contract with $4 million, while he's seeing Davante Adams, Tyreek getting 24 or more. I think that's the big deal about that, being that he's a receiver. He's seeing all the rest of the receivers getting these big deals, while he's getting, like you said, banged up as the hybrid.
Now, here's the thing, though. The thing is with guys like Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams, those guys are not on their rookie contracts anymore. They haven't been for a long time, and they didn't get paid their big boy type of contracts until their rookie contract was up. Now, this is going to be the weird thing. That's why the Jaguars' massive contract to Christian Kirk, it's going to throw a whole ripple effect for wide receivers in the NFL for years to come, because they've seen a guy like Christian Kirk getting paid so much money, being one of the highest paid receivers in the NFL. Now everybody thinks that they need to be paid higher than him. And Deebo Samuel is just another case in that. Yep. And he's not even done with his rookie contract yet. Yep. Now, I get what you mean, production matches pay. Yes, he has been huge in production. But the thing is, if you're on a rookie contract, you got to make it through your whole rookie contract to get paid that kind of contract. You can't just say too early that you want to be paid bigger.
He can. Let me tell you why he can. Was he not the best player on that 49ers offense?
Well, I'm not saying that he can't, but you can't just say when your rookie contract's not up yet that, you can't say that you need to be paid that big contract yet. It's never been like that. Every big receiver has waited till their rookie contract is up before they wanted to get paid their big contract. But nowadays, it seems like they think just any year they can get paid this massive contract.
So what would you think he should do in this situation?
I don't know. I mean, I clearly get he doesn't want to play with San Fran anymore, and maybe that's because, and maybe it's not because of the money thing. We don't know for sure if it's the money thing yet, and he doesn't want to get banged up. That I can clearly understand.
Let's just say if it was the money thing, what do you suggest he should do?
I suggest what he should do if it's the money thing right now. I mean, the only suggestion I could get for him is to request a trade, because I don't know, because San Francisco has made it clear they're not going to pay that massive contract for him. So the thing is, personally, what I see happening to him right now with what's going on here, I personally see him getting traded to the New York Jets. He's been getting linked to a lot of different teams, the Packers, Cowboys, a whole bunch of other teams, but I personally see the Jets being the top pick for him. They're in the AFC. 49ers are not going to trade him to another NFC contender. They're going to trade him to an AFC team. So the Jets have a lot of money, and they need wide receivers.
All I'm saying, the 49ers need to do something. Or if they don't keep him, they're going to be in trouble next season. That's one. Two, now there are 5 teams that have enough draft capital and the cap space to get them. And our teams are included in that. The Packers, the Cowboys, I mean, I just saw that he liked a tweet of an edit with him in the Cowboys jersey. Now, that got me excited. Even though he gave the Cowboys the business in the playoffs, I'll let bygones be bygones if he comes on this side. That's one. But,
So you're telling me your team is willing to pay him a massive contract when they weren't willing to pay Amari Cooper a massive contract?
I'm not saying my team. I'm saying I would. We need a guy like the hybrid, the Demo. Who wouldn't want him? All-pro receiver, led the league in yards per catch. He's versatile. He'll be a great addition on any team. I'm saying I want him on the Cowboys. And I
don't blame you. I would
what
want
I'm
him in
saying.
Green Bay. I just know we can't get him because we don't have the money to get him.
You won't even pay the best receiver in the league, Devontae Adams. You think you're gonna? No. Yeah, you were gonna pay him.
He just didn't want to be with us anymore.
He washed his hands with you. But listen, I know you suggest. You suggest he should get a trade. Okay, so why are you saying he's still in his rookie contract?
Just because this has never been how this has been with wide receivers or any players. You always play through your rookie contract before you get your big contract, and I feel like this is going to change things now. It's now a league where the players control the league. It's turning into the NBA. Major League Baseball has been the same way. Now the NFL is starting to transition into this as well.
And rightfully so. NFL is $1 billion business. It's enough to go around. That's 1, 2.
Yes.
You're right. The NFL is turning into the NBA. Before, it used to be a couple quarterbacks that could call shots and get what they want, right? Now it's the receivers going up. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. And Deebo Samuel wants a piece of that, and rightfully so. His production was phenomenal last season. You can't deny that. I think the brothers should go to wash his hands with the 49ers, go get that big contract, and go crazy. I want the Cowboys to get him. I would cry if the Cowboys got him. I think our record will be way better, and we'll do better in the playoffs if we make it to the playoffs, because we don't know what the Cowboys are doing these days.
Do you really think Mike McCarthy would know how to use him properly, though?
You see what the problems I'm going against? I mean...
Anyway, but he's not the only receiver, though, that's in this situation, though. That's the weird thing. A.J. Brown and Terry McLaurin also are holding out right now. They want new contracts. And, this is a ripple effect, like I said before. Who knows how many more wide receivers are going to be doing this? Not just wide receivers either. I guess more players who are going to be doing this as well.
We're at a time where the players are not scared to demand the money. That's where we're at. Whatever they believe they're worth, that's what they're going to fight for. We are at that time. And maybe it does need to shift. I mean, come on now. Everybody else has guaranteed contracts. Does the NFL have fully guaranteed contracts?
I mean, possibly. It depends, though, because it's kind of like some contracts don't have the fully guaranteed money. Some of them do. Deshaun Watson's, his is fully guaranteed.
Yeah, and why do you think it was such a big deal? He's one of the first to have a fully guaranteed contract. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Exactly. So the game is pushing forward, and it needs to push forward. Come on, we're the only sport that doesn't have that's not normalized fully guaranteed contracts. Of course, the game needs to push forward.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And speaking of moving forward, we have some new players coming soon. Next Thursday is the NFL draft. I think we are all very excited for that. We are excited to see what's going to happen.
Speak for yourself. I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. The thing is, my motto for the Cowboys now: what can go wrong will go wrong. So I don't know what's going to happen in the draft for the Cowboys. I just hope we get a guard, because we need a guard, we need an edge, and we need a wide receiver. I would love to get a wide receiver. We got Christian Watson in the draft. We got James. I would love to get a receiver, but I know we're probably going to get a guard.
So personally, I happened to grab a CBS draft, mock draft off of the internet. Yep. This is Chris Trapasso who wrote this one. And I want to go through some of these picks here and kind of talk about them. So the first overall pick, he has Jacksonville taking Trayvon Walker, interior defensive lineman out of Georgia.
Okay.
I don't know if I see this happening personally. I personally think Jacksonville is going to go right off the bat, get what most people think is the best player in this draft, Aiden Hutchinson, the defensive end pass rusher out of Michigan.
Yep.
I personally think that's what they should do. You need a face of that team. That team is just in absolute turmoil right now.
Now, what disturbed me about something I saw about that a while back, they compared them to the Bosa brothers.
Aiden Hutchinson? Oh, absolutely. I would too. I'm one of those people who does. He's very good, Aiden Hutchinson has been throughout his college career. And I personally think he could be a Bosa type guy.
They compared them now. As in now.
Well, yeah, they always do that. They always try to compare guys to people who are currently in the NFL right now, and that's what they're doing with Aiden right now, because he definitely has the same physical stature, he has the same playmaking ability as the Bosa brothers, and I agree with that.
If I count how many times you gave me a headache today, I would be rich.
Trust me, there's going to be more coming.
The Bosa brothers are beasts, especially that brother that's in San Fran right now. Just keep going.
I mean, great. All right. So the next one, interesting thing here is Houston, who's got the third overall pick. He has them taking the Kayvon Thibodeau, who's another defensive end out of Oregon, and he's kind of like the second to Hutchinson in terms of defensive ends, and he's another guy who's predicted to go in the top 10. I personally would like this pick for Houston. I don't know what Houston could do. There's some people ruminating they could go quarterback here. I don't see that. Davis Mills was a decent quarterback for them last year. I would like to see him get another year this year. But that's what I think for them. Personally, though, for quarterbacks is a weird question to ask for this draft this year. You got guys like Malik Willis who have driven up the draft boards recently, and guys like Kenny Pickett who've kind of fallen. Same thing with Sam Howell out of North Carolina. He's fallen as well, too. So when and where is the first quarterback going to go off the board?
I'm thinking Malik Willis because he's looking pretty good. I mean, like you said, they're all talking about him. I like his play. I think if they were smart, they would choose him. That's why that's who I would go for in my first pick.
I think Malik Willis will go off the board first too, and I think it would be 6th overall to Carolina. Carolina needs a quarterback right now, and I think Malik Willis would be a good fit for them. He's kind of the sort of opposite of Cam Newton. He's got the same mobility, but he's in terms of size and those kind of physicality,
but it's rightfully so. There'll probably never be another Cam Newton for a while. I mean, look at his stature. I mean, he's trying to stay between 250. 250.
Yep.
Like that's big. So yeah, obviously his stature is not going to be as large as Cam Newton.
And the last two things I can talk about, might as well talk about our teams real quick. What he predicted for us. So you were talking about Cowboys possibly picking offensive line. That's what he predicted. He predicted you guys get Zion Johnson, an offensive guard out of Boston College, which I think would be a good pick for you guys. You guys need an offensive line since you lost Connor Williams and Tyron Smith in free agency. That would be a good pick for you.
I heard that. I've been also hearing speculations that might get some brothers from Georgia on the line, on the D line. You never really know.
Devontae Wyatt.
You never really know. But we did lose 2 offensive guards, and that's what we're known for. So I won't be mad if they try to rebuild that. But, they're also they have edge and wide receiver on the radar.
I feel like you guys could pick offensive line anywhere and develop them decently. You don't have to use your first rounder on them if you don't want to.
Yep.
Now, for my team, he predicted for our 2 first-round picks, the first one, Kyer Elam, cornerback out of Florida, and then Nakobe Dean, a linebacker out of Georgia.
Yep.
Dean's not a bad one for me. I feel like we could use a second linebacker. It wouldn't hurt to get someone behind Devondre Campbell. But Elam, no. We do not need another cornerback right now. We got Eric Stokes with the first overall pick last year. Jair Alexander, although we still need to pay him a new deal, so that, I guess, could be an issue. But we also re-signed Rasul Douglas to a big contract. So I don't see cornerback as an issue right now. Personally, I want a wide receiver so bad in the first round of the draft. I would love Christian Watson, obviously, but if it's not him, I mean, personally, if Chris Olave is still on the board, I would love to take that.
If he's one of the top,
wide receivers have really been fluctuating around the board recently. Like, some of them have been jumping up, some of them have been dropping down. You don't know who's going to be first off the board for wide receivers or who's going to go where. It's going to be very interesting to see who's going to end up where. Also, another player I wouldn't mind, Devontae Wyatt, that defensive lineman out of Georgia. We need some interior D-line help.
So how do you think the Packers are going to do this season, even if you guys have the most successful draft in your organization? How do you guys think you guys are going to perform this season, this upcoming season?
I think we'll honestly perform great, honestly. And the thing is, a lot of people think our offense is going to be a lot worse this year without Devontae Adams.
And I want to sneak this in. People, I'm not going to say which teams, but it's in your division, thinking they're going to top you guys. They're going to knock you guys off the top. That's just what I've been hearing.
They've been waiting for our downfall for years. But the thing is, I think our offense is personally going to be a lot better this year because the passing game, I feel like, was kind of hampered in certain games when Rodgers would just look for Adams and nobody else in the passing game. I feel like now that we got a mixture of guys like Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, and now we just signed Sammy Watkins to a very cheap deal.
Saw that.
You know what? I honestly think this offense will be great this year.
All righty, we're going to switch gears to NBA playoffs. I'm not even going to get to the Cowboys because I don't want to ruin the rest of my day. So the NBA playoffs have started a while ago, actually. For the Western Conference, we got the Suns versus Pelicans, and they're 1-1 currently in the series. They play tonight at 8:30. The Grizzlies versus the Timberwolves. Memphis leads that series 2-1. They play tomorrow at 9. And then Warriors versus Nuggets. The Warriors are leading 3-0, and we all know that was coming.
Yeah.
They play on Sunday at 2:30. And then Mavericks versus the Utah Jazz. Dallas leads 2-1, and they play tomorrow at 3:30.
Now, meanwhile, Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, the Celtics versus the Nets. Boston leads that series currently 2-0. They play tomorrow at 6:30, although that has been a very close series, and the Nets could storm back possibly. The Heat play the Hawks. Miami leads 2-0 right now in the series. They play tonight at 6. The Bulls versus the Bucks are currently tied 1-1. They play tonight at 7:30. However, the Bucks are dealing with injuries right now. Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis both dealing with injuries.
How do you feel about that?
A little nervous. Chris Middleton was a
any Wisconsin team that you go for. I like that downfall.
Then finally, the 76ers and Raptors. Philly leads that one 3-0, so that's pretty much should be all said and done. Knock on wood there. They play tomorrow at 1 p.m. in Game 4.
I'm predicting, as far as the Warriors and the Nuggets, I'm predicting that's going to be a sweep.
Yeah.
And I like the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. I love that series. I want to know how that turns out. You know, you got John Moran saying we want all the smoke.
Yep.
Then you got Pat Bev on the other side, not taking no prisoners. So we want to see what's going to happen. But thank you for tuning in to another episode of Bison Overtime. I'm Malik Mitchell.
And I'm Ash Mentzel.
And we will catch you guys next week. Stay tuned.